Hey, hi. Forgot to unmute. Hey, ladies.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm here. I'm here. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's another episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast. Thank you all who have joined us, who join us every week and who may be joining us for the first time. If you don't know, I'm your girl, Mel V.
I'm Tiffany Mathias, the one true Phoenix.
And we got a special guest host with us today, Miss Lady J.A. I don't know if she can hear us. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. See, the devil don't want us to win because we was just backstage just fine. Just
She'll
so
be joining us back real
we'll be
soon.
really soon.
hmm
For now, I'm gonna take that off until she can come back. um, but wait, she's back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
There we go. Yay!
All right. I'll let you say hey to the people. Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name's Danielle Lawson, Lady JA. I'm excited to be here tonight, despite how tired I might be. This topic, though, is so needed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So before we get into our amazing show today, we're gonna give y'all a little update on what's been going on over in Diamond Rider World. So we have some new stuff for you guys. So we are dropping or have dropped some new merch. Take a look. So yes, we have been busy over here. So if you want to
Oh,
support
girl.
us, right? Don't y'all like the new merch? Oh.
I love it. And I love me a nice reusable canvas tote bag. Like, I like my little pocketbooks and my little backpacks every now and then. But I have become like, let me just throw everything in a canvas tote bag. Especially here in New York City, like you got to bring your own bags when you go shopping. And I'm like,
Yes.
no, I'm not paying 5 cents for something I'm gonna throw away. And I done spent about $50 to $70 on reusable bags that I be forgetting. So like right into the tote bag it goes. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go check out what those sayings say.
I
Bad. We got
know.
a
I
couple.
saw Bay, but I couldn't see what it stood for. So I got to go check
Yes, we
that
have a
out.
shirt that says "Bay." Don't give me the line on what it means.
Don't
Hold on.
lie to us. Don't lie. I'll just
I'm
wait.
not.
I'll wait
hmm
and go check it out.
I was like, listen, I've been busy designing. I'm like, I can't remember what every shirt says. I cannot. I'm gonna be real quick. I'm gonna go look and find out. But yeah, we got the bags. We have. I think we have one bag that says "This bag goes with everything."
Oh, I like that one. And
Yeah,
I
we
saw one that said book. This is my book bag or something like
got.
that. That's cute. I like that one.
Um, we had a bunch of fun ones. I think we have one that says "Get your own bag while you ride mine."
Oh, I need that one for my daughters because they always in my stuff. I love them, but they always in my stuff.
Always.
Say "Get
They
out
in
my."
my they in my stuff so bad that I don't even realize that it's missing out of my stuff until I either A go looking for it or the worst one is when I see them wearing it and they're like, "Oh, I don't had this like 3 months now." It reminds me of that time that who was it? Vanessa and Denise got into a fight over the sweater on the Cosby Show.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
like
I
give
remember
me
that
my stuff.
episode.
No, yeah.
I be wanting to knock them
So
across the bed too.
true. Listen, my daughter's
Designer writers do not support violence.
my daughter's only 11 and she's already in my closet trying to take my
hmm
hoodies and t-shirts and all types of stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Great.
Look out.
It's coming. It's coming.
But yeah, we got a bunch of like dope sayings on the book, the bags and the shirts. I think we have one that says, um, I still look good in jeans and a hoodie or something like, or jeans and sneakers, or still cute in jeans and sneakers. And we got a bunch. We got to go on the website, check it out. We've come up with some really fun sayings and stuff that we think will be really trendy and people will love. So, and we're not done. We have more. We have more that we're still working on. So,
Mhm.
as the fall rolls in, we'll roll out some hoodies and some other fun stuff. So,
Yes,
that,
fall is coming, even though it's a heat wave here in New York City. Fall is
Girl.
coming, so it will be sweater weather.
I don't have
Next
fall here.
week, watch. Next
Like,
week, sweater weather.
like, I don't get fall here. I wish I did. It was 100 degrees today. So I'm like, it's September, summer's over. Um
Don't say that.
Not yet. Not till the end
no
of the
no
month.
no.
We have until the 21st. We have until the 21st. Did y'all see my little video where I was sitting there crying
Oh,
on
that
TikTok
acorn.
and that's what acorn. I had so many people hit me up was like, yo, I thought it was really something wrong with you.
I said, well, see, y'all can have summer. I want summer to be over here.
Hmm.
Okay? I
Nobody
don't
told
need
you to go to Florida.
I
Nobody
don't
told
need
you to do
any
that.
more 100-degree days. None.
Yeah.
So it was a video. What this comedian, he was posted a thing today about it, and he was like, something is different about Florida heat. He was like, this
Hmm.
cannot be. He's like, this cannot be the same sun that shines everywhere else. He was like, this is a different sun. Like this cannot. And I felt his pain. I was like, this Florida heat is different. It's just
Yeah.
not. I don't know that we got a different sun here. Our sun rays, our UVA, UVB rays are different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it mixes with all of that water that y'all got down there and it cook up something different. I believe it. I believe it.
It's a different potato in the soup down here. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna keep our show going. So next we have none other than our grab your glasses, lady. It's time for
Okay.
our sip and shine. So Tiff, who are we sipping and shining today? Who are we sipping to and
Okay.
sipping and shine?
So we are sipping and shining to Miss Melissa Butler, who is the boss lady, the CEO over at the Lip Bar. The Lip Bar is a vegan lip brand line that was featured on Shark Tank some years ago. And after being not only turned down by, but insulted by one of the sharks, she continued to strive forward. She now has a flagship store in Detroit. Her products are in 750 Walmarts, 500 Targets, and just announced this week they will be in 3,000 CVS brick and mortar stores.
Wow.
So, all across the
Amazing.
country. So, yes, after being told on Shark Tank on national television that she looked like a colorful cockroach in her colorful lip color, she is still killing it. So here's a sip and shine to the boss, Miss Melissa Butler, and here.
Yes. First of all,
Now,
when I saw that clip, I was like, the freedom and the audacity
the caucasity.
to feel like it was okay for you to call anyone, but much less a woman of color, a cockroach.
A colorful cockroach.
A cockroach. The fact that you called her a cockroach,
Hmm.
like
That's the problem with people who think they have a couple of dollars and have free liberty to just say however they feel with no consequence. Just flies out of their mouth and think no one can do anything about it.
and not even
Yeah.
just for that, said she looked like a
Hmm.
colorful cockroach.
Yeah. Like, I get the whole thing when it comes down to these panel style shows. Like, you have Simon Cowell on American Idol. Like, there's always got to be that one person to play the bad guy, somebody to deliver the message with sugar and sweetness, and then everybody in between. But you don't have to be insulting. And I was
That's
having
right.
this conversation um, with Indigo about this, and I said two things that stood out for me in that clip. The first one was he was using a standard of beauty that only pertains to a European, a white person, like, what looks good on them. And that is something that has been completely established across the beauty industry for years now, that the standard of beauty is measured against whiteness. And I like the fact that things are changing now to include a more diverse palette, because the reason I think she was wearing like a neon greenish or like a greenish color lipstick,
or something like
and it's the fact of the matter that that color would not look good or would not complement someone with a complexion of his. There are certain colors that you need pigment and melanin in your skin to pull off. And for me, I wish I had it in me to be bold enough to wear some of these beautiful, bold lip colors, like a purple, not a plum, but a purple or green or blue. Like, I stick in the safe space of like the peaches and the corals, and, I go bold with a red lip. But to the standard of beauty is changing, and I'm so glad that there are so many more BIPOC men and women who are entering the beauty industry, who are breaking those glass ceilings and knocking those walls down and changing what the world sees beauty as. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, as a man, like, I want to know, like, who raised you? How dare you talk to a woman like that? But this is, again, one of those situations where we talk about the most unprotected being on the planet is a Black woman.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're there for an investment opportunity, not to be criticized about your appearance. So that was my first issue. If this is not something you think you believe in or want to put your money in, let's talk about that. But and then maybe she could have worked to try to convince him to see it another way. But to come off in that manner was totally unnecessary, as we all know. But what did you think the outcome of that was going to be?
Right.
But she's presenting a business opportunity. You're talking about her appearance. Like, it just felt wrong, of course. But I just don't understand. Like you said, Tiff, it's the audacity to think that you could even say something like that to someone in general. Like, my appearance, you don't have to like. You don't have to like. I'm not there for that.
Right.
I'm not asking you to invest in my face as the cover of one of your products. I'm presenting a business opportunity. So I think what annoyed me more was not only the insult, but the fact that I'm here for this one thing, and you felt like your response was appropriate and it had nothing to do with what we're there for.
Absolutely.
You know what I want to do? I'm actually going to go back and see if I can find this whole episode, streaming somewhere, because I want to know what the response to that, if he was on the panel that day, like Damon John would have said. Like, as a Black man, did he sit there quiet while this white man called this Black woman a cockroach?
But even in the clip, like, it didn't show the whole thing, but it showed the other panelists or the other judges critiquing. And none of them gave constructive criticism. None of them, male, female, Black, white, none of them gave them criticism that was,
useful
or supportive or useful at all. It was all breaking them down, and it started before they even got go. It was like the minute she started talking and put up the picture of what she was doing, they immediately were in a negative space. They didn't even try to understand.
They weren't open to it at all.
They weren't open at all. And it's sad that, unfortunately, as Black women, oftentimes, no matter how good what we have may be, when we walk in, when they see a Black woman, it is an automatic, immediate shift in disposition right off the bat.
Yeah.
You have to like redraw them back in, and then be able to pitch what you're doing, because automatically their complete disposition about it changes. One, when they see a person of color, and then second, when you're a female person of color, it's automatic. So it was very sad. It was sad that was done to them, and then that it was done on such a large stage. And
then nothing was done about it.
Yeah.
Wait, so here's what I want to say in wrapping up the Sip and Shine segment is that I love that her billboard says Shark Tank said no, but we said yes, like that type of effect. Like you slept on us. They continue to sleep on us. So once again, a sip and a shine to Miss Melissa Butler and the
Yes.
Lit Bar. And hop onto the website because there are. I was on there before we came on. She has some promos that are going on for this launch into CBS, and I was actually playing around with there because I can never really get makeup that suits my face right. They have this like virtual reality where you can like try on the shades through
Oh,
there. So
Well, look at them doing big things.
nice.
So kudos to
mhm.
them for
Big thing
not
from a little
allowing,
company.
listen, kudos for them for not allowing somebody else to dictate the height of your success.
And to keep them from trying.
Absolutely.
and
Let's go.
and
Keep
has
going.
been a true inspiration and recharge to us as diamond writers. We are 3 years in, and we are the little company, the little org that could. And so we know it may take 12 years, but we're still going to be here. And so thank you for those who are riding out with us.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And thank you to the brainchild Natima for keeping it going and pushing.
Hey, Queen Pen. I know she's in the comments somewhere.
Yep. And speaking of that, we're gonna hop into the comments really quickly before we jump into our topic. So let's see who we have in the building with us. We got none other than our own sweet rights, Miss Tiara Berry. Hey, she said, I saw the new merch. It's popping. Come on, popping merch. We got,
Exactly.
let's see. Who else we got in here? We got Michelle Mack in here dropping some diamonds for us. Thank
Hey,
you, thank you.
Shelly.
Hey, Shelly.
And then, of course, you know our queen pen is never too far behind. So our queen pen said, but let's focus on the positive. She is doing it in over 3,000 CVS stores nationwide, over 10 million units sold. She eating. Absolutely.
Doing
Kudos
big
to her.
things.
We need
Yes.
to,
Absolutely.
all of us that have a vision and a dream need to take a note from her book and be like, listen, one no is not the end all be all. It just wasn't the yes for you.
Nope.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have got her where she is probably. So no.
Exactly. And that's something else. You sell portions of your business to these sharks, and they sit there and they water it down and all that other stuff. But enough about them.
So, on to our topic for today. And we started that way because our overhead topic today is business and entrepreneurship. And so, for most of us, we to some extent, many of us are entrepreneurs or want to be, thriving entrepreneurs, looking to become entrepreneurs or have been entrepreneurs for some while, and are looking for ways to build and grow and increase our success. So we are going to talk to you today about your network is your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
Lord, is if it is not
Oh,
that.
It
Um,
sure enough is.
and it's so many of us don't realize how important it is, one, to network, one, but then also how important, significant it is in your success. The people that you connect yourself to and that you have around you actually are very instrumental in the strides and the steps you make or the falls and the setbacks that you encounter. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I had the privilege and honor last week when I was missing. I missed you guys. But I had the privilege of being the featured business at a new endeavor that started out here. It's called Speed Networking. So it's like speed dating, but it's speed networking. And so shout out to Emerge Woman and CL Intentional, who were the sponsors for the event. Two Black women entrepreneurs, by the way, who decided to do this event and sponsor it. And it was like it was a really dope event.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot, and surprisingly enough, the crowd was very diverse. It was
Mm-hmm.
of all different nationalities that came, male and women. Um, and there were a lot of connections made. I was able to make a lot of connections, people that were like, I had services that they needed. They were looking for somebody to help them do certain things. And so you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We stay in our small circle or our closed units. and never realizing how one conversation can um,
Change.
change, anything. Somebody has a service
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
need that you don't know because you don't ask.
Or even push you in a direction you didn't think you were going because an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity presents itself. They might have an idea that could be a gain for you, your business, or your exposure. So you just never know. It pays to be open to those conversations and making those connections. I, you know,
Exactly.
y'all know I'm quiet, but
Mm-hmm.
I have learned I have learned the value of just kind of coming out of my shell and having those conversations and talking about what I'm doing. So many people come to me and they see my posts and they hear about the diamond writers and they want to know more. What is it about?
Mm-hmm.
What am I writing about? And it just opens up a window for me because I don't even think people are paying attention. People
Mm-hmm.
are paying
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
attention. And
They definitely are.
it opens up interest, like people who want to join and learn more. It opens up potential opportunities for the group as a whole. Like you never know which way it can go.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I did a networking event in August. It was very interesting. So we've had her on the show before. Tiffany Mack from 9 O'Clock Tea Party. She was one of our vendors down in our Georgia event. For her birthday, she actually did like a pop-up shop networking, day
Yeah,
party type of
I saw
thing.
your post.
I
Yeah,
did.
and it was so great to be in the room. And it's like I was in the room with vendors I hadn't, nobody I had seen before. It was my first time vending. I was really amazed at the traction that my table got. I had people come up just to look at the books, Pretty Broken, Beneath the Crown, Valid Transparency. I spoke about the Diamond Writers. We were in the middle of pushing engagement. And so I was having them scan to follow us so that they could see the content on the Diamond Writers as well as ourselves. And then I was selling some of the books and journals and just all these things there. And it just felt so good to be in a space with like minded people
Yes.
um, who were all there for the same purpose to meet, to greet, to expose other people to what it is that they have to offer the community because you cannot be successful staying in the same circles and in the same rooms with the people who you know
That's right.
because if that was the case, you would already be successful.
That's right.
So there are times where you have to step out of your comfort zone and be in a space where you might not know anybody and
You
you're
gotta be a
forced to talk to
yeah.
someone who you don't know.
Be a little
It's
uncomfortable.
scary.
Yeah.
Be a little
Get
uncomfortable.
this is what I'm going to say about that. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to grow. That's
That's
why it's
right.
called growing pains. It's not called growing comfort. It's called growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And that was like one of the really fun things or the good things about the event that I went to was because it was set up like a speed dating thing, you didn't
Mhm.
get to pick who you spoke to. So you had everybody got a sheet when they came in that had 5 slots. And so your goal
Mhm.
was to get five business informations. And we split the room. And so you had to automatically you were even in odds and you had to talk to someone on the opposite side of the room. So you didn't get
Mhm.
to really pick and choose, oh, well, I'm gonna sit, I'm not gonna talk to, so you just kind of had to, it was like not forced engagement, but it made you that if you were someone that normally was a wallflower or that stood in the corner and didn't speak, you now had to engage and had to speak, with someone. And oftentimes we as humans, we tend to judge people off the
Mhm.
way their appearance. So we're like, oh, well, I don't want to talk to them because they look mean or they look like this, and we won't
Mhm.
engage with someone because of how they come across or how they look. And then you finally do speak to them and realize the one thing that you've been looking for all this time, this one person that you refused to talk to,
Mhm.
had the key to that thing that you needed. So we have to get out of that mindset of like, well, they don't look like they would know, or they don't look like they would have, or they don't, because you never know what resources somebody has or what resources they have access to
Mhm.
that they could then in turn share with you that could benefit what you're trying to do with your business. And you can't, no one gets to the top of success without help, without a team, without people around them. You need people to help you. You can't do
Hmm.
everything. You don't know everything.
No, you don't.
You
You know,
can't.
the other thing with that is I think also when you walk into settings, not only do you know, that first impressions count, you know, like, oh, they look like this, or I don't, they kind of, you know, give me this vibe or whatever it is. It's also about the product or the service that they're offering. When you do like that speed dating type of situation, you're like, if you went in on your own and you're like, I'm going to visit these tables or these booths or whatever it is, you might skip over something thinking, I don't need that. I don't use that. Oh, I don't like how that looks, or, you know, whatever. But again, with this networking situation, it seems like regardless of what the product or the service is, they might have, you know, some tools of the trade, some tips to be able to give you on whether it's branding, whether it's marketing, whether it's packaging, whether it's going in for loans and grants and all of these things here. It becomes beyond the product and the service, but about the business and the success there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I know, for me, I'm not technically an entrepreneur, but just me stepping outside of my comfort zone and attending the Maryland event before I even was a contributing author or really met any of the Diamond Writers. I just showed up. That is something I would not ever, ever, ever do, especially by myself. I'm walking into a room and I knew nobody, but I was so glad I did it.
Hmm.
I was so glad I was in the room, especially with gem class. It made me feel like I was in the right space. I had this idea in my head of wanting to help women or help people heal, absent, who experience absent parents or who struggled with, even as a child, just understanding their place in that and that it wasn't their fault. But I didn't know
Mhm.
how I was going to do it. You
Hmm.
just have something like in your mind going for so long. And it's just like, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, but how? And
Right.
Diamond Writers was my first glimpse at knowing that it can happen. Like, this is
Absolutely.
something that's attainable. This is something that if you keep pushing yourself, you could actually do. And becoming a Diamond Writer pushed me to do a speaker class, which again is not something I would ever do.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's a lot of growth happening, and it all was because, like you said, Tiff, I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable so that I could really kind of see my vision become a reality and actually help it grow. Because if I'm not doing the work, what's going to happen?
Right.
The idea stays an idea, so you got to get out there and put your foot to the pavement and get grinding, and you can't be
Hmm.
afraid to just hi. you know Hi, I'm so and so. Like, you never know where that can take you.
I,
Absolutely.
I, I still want to recognize you for that because as as a woman, it can be very difficult coming into spaces with other women because of, you know, past traumas and the stigma around being around other women. And so to step into that space, not knowing anybody, alone with all of these powerful black women, you know, I might have been scared as hell and got to the door and be like, hey, no, I'm going home. I'm going.
That's why I'm like, let me hand out these bagels. Let me do something to be help. I just felt like I was in a space where, like, I needed to do something to help this,
Mhm.
because this
Absolutely.
is it. This is good energy. I felt good. My best friend was texting me, "You okay?" I'm like, "Girl, this is good. this is good."
Shout out
Yeah,
to
it
best friend.
Right. Shout out to Shalana.
yeah, it just, it was really good energy, so it made it easy. It really did.
Awesome.
So
Absolutely. And we
just
and we were and we were thankful for it.
Absolutely.
We're grateful that you were there. But I mean, it's just, it goes to show, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you step outside of your comfort zone and step outside of the box that you've put yourself in,
That's
that
right.
sometimes is the one thing you need to do to start your trajectory,
That's
is
right.
just make that one step. And and with the networking, the same thing. It's about who you know.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, we sometimes keep our network to our friends and our family.
Yeah.
This is our
Two
little
times.
tight clique. This is a, and I mean, and that's cool. That's cool for like family secrets and stuff like that. But that's not
Mhm.
always the best thing for business. Because shockingly, well, not really shockingly, but what most people don't realize is a lot of times your biggest supporters are not going to be the people in your immediate circle.
They are not. They are
Um,
not.
and so you are pigeonholing yourself and your success by limiting your connections to just those people. And not to necessarily downplay people, but if you around people that were in the same circumstances as you, that have kind of gone through the same experiences as you, that do the same thing as you, well, their connections and their resources are going to be limited to kind of where y'all are at. So you got to step outside of this small group of people to expand the things you have access to, and be conscious of that. Like, okay, I can use these people close to me, but are they in my network just because they're like my cousin or my best friend, or am I
Mhm.
keeping in my network because they're helping my net worth?
Right.
I'm saying, like, you can be my friend and not be a part of my business network.
That is so true. It's crazy. So I often have family or friends whenever we drop a new book or whatever it is. They're like, "Yo, Tiff, I love everything that you do." Like they'll buy a book or whatever, but they're like, "I don't know what else to do to help you." And we talk about it all the time. The one thing that is absolutely free that anybody can do for any entrepreneur is share their content,
Mhm.
share their information, because this is what we're talking about when it comes down to your network. Because we can't be in all the rooms. But if I'm in a room and I hear someone talking about something and it goes ding, ding, ding in my head, this connects to something that Mel is interested in, or this connects to Tima, or this connects to any of us, then my next step is to take that person's information and pass it on to you.
Right.
And that's what we mean by your network is your net worth. Because if people are not mentioning your name in the rooms that they're in, when the opportunity arises for you to be mentioned, then they are a deficit to you. They are just extra baggage. Like, I don't need anyone to, like, if somebody is, you're at lunch, whoever my family member or my friend is, you're at lunch and something comes up about, I'm looking for a good book to read. Anybody got any suggestions? If you don't sit there and say, my friend, my cousin, my sister, so and so is part of a writers group. They've written 3 books already. You should check out their stuff. Then you're kind of holding me back. You're really preventing me from spreading my wings and getting my message across. So analyze the people that you have around you. When you are not around, do they mention your name in positive lights and experiences to help elevate you? Or do they stay quiet? Gotta look at who's on your team.
I know for some, they don't always think to do stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
not like it's not that they don't want to, but for some reason they just don't think to do that in those spaces.
Mhm.
So, sometimes you got to provide a little direction. Now, if then that doesn't happen,
Right.
the authenticity is a big part of it too.
Yes.
Your network, you want to be around authentic people that want to see you do well, also, not just make money,
Hmm.
because that only is going to take you so far before it could go bad.
Yeah.
So, you need
So
Well,
for
authentic,
so that
genuine people.
and
go
also the
ahead.
people that recognize your abilities and your skills and bring up, like you stiff, that bring opportunities to you, but then also recognize things that they have that they can utilize to assist you. Um, I do like all the websites and stuff like that. I'm always to my friend, you don't got a website? I can help you do your website. And sometimes they be like, so you're not gonna charge me? And I be gonna be getting myself messed up. But it's like, because for me, sometimes it's more about the fact that how do I have a skill and a resource that I know you need for
Hmm.
you to grow, and I just sit there and go
They,
and
they don't
watch
throw,
you
I'm gonna
do it.
let
they
you.
don't
I'm
throw,
gonna let you fumble when I could help you. Like I can assist you and give you the M1 in this. And I stay quiet and let you struggle. Like gatekeeping, oh my God, that is
Deep
how to say it?
breaths.
It make my itch.
No, it's
Oh
horrible.
boy.
I am not a gatekeeper. I can't stand gatekeeping. Like, what are you afraid of by sharing what you know?
And here's the thing about it, it's like people don't even realize if you help this person do something, especially if it's something that's physical or tangible that people can see, you've now created another means of marketing yourself. So I look at it like, for me, when I do websites, I'm like, well, guess what? Even if I don't necessarily charge you or whatever the case may be, is I've done your website now, and I'm aware of the services that you offer and the people that's going to reach. Well, guess what? Everyone that goes on your website is not going to see my work. So now when I do go to somewhere else and I'm trying to say, well, look what I can do, you're now part of my resume.
Right.
You're now part of what I proof and work of what I've done. And I don't people don't see that. They feel like helping, like they don't see how why helping someone else, you're in return, you're somewhat helping yourself because you're adding to your resume, you're adding to your catalog
Mm-hmm.
things
Because
you've done.
some people don't want to see you gain from their, come on, y'all know where I'm going. Some people don't want to see you gain from something they gave you or offered you or
Right.
Crabs in them, and God forbid they help you and then you surpass where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, well, girl, you wouldn't be there if I wouldn't have, or if I didn't do.
but that's where genuine comes in at, because those aren't genuine people. You know, those aren't people who were just doing it because they wanted to help you get
Mhm.
ahead and saw an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity.
We
They're
just like,
they're they're trying to create an opportunity for
They're
themselves.
being opportunistic. They're not. It's
Absolutely.
about what their opportunity is.
And
And
what they
as
can
far
gain.
right. And as far as Mel, whenever she helps someone out, whether it's through marketing or creating websites and all of those things, if she hooks you up or whatever it is, it's nothing to hop back onto her website and give a testimonial so that it helps build out her platform. Like it's all about, the give and the get, the barter system. Like bartering when you are first starting out as an entrepreneur is going to be your best friend.
mm-hmm,
Like if you are in, regardless of what it is that you are doing and you're creating, you cannot do it all by yourself. So if you have a product or a service that you have that you're trying to put out into the marketplace, you can't be the only person to give your testimonies or be in your ads or be in your social media posts or all of those things here. So it's like, hey, so you do makeup, you do hair, you do photography. I got a product. Out of one photo shoot, you all have something to put on your posts, on your pages, and all you did
Oh,
is give
check it.
credit to one another.
That's
Like
right.
stop thinking so big, like it, you're too big to be have humble beginnings. Every entrepreneur, unless somebody came from wealth, started with a humble beginning.
mm-hmm.
Didn't Jeff Bezos start Amazon out his garage?
That's right.
Yeah. Listen, I just had a meeting with three of my clients, and I had meetings with each of them individually, and then I'm like listening, and I'm like, hold that thought. When are y'all available? I'm gonna have a meeting. Like I need everybody to come to a meeting. I'm like, because you need something that this person can do. You need something this person can do. You need something both of them can do. Here we go. And we're all in the bad boy family. So here you go. Like y'all help each like y'all all help each other out. Um, but yeah, I mean, what we're talking about is just kind of like streamrolled into our other topic of making the right connections.
Mm,
Like make the right connections. We don't make the right connections. We connect with people, but they're not always right. And like just like with the lady from Shark with the Shark situation, every opportunity is not necessarily a good opportunity for you and for what you're
mm-mm,
trying to do, which also means every person and everything that someone has to offer you
Mm.
isn't necessarily going to be the thing that you need to. And we get so quick because we want to get there right now. I want to get there. I want to get there. I want to get
Mhm.
there.
That's right.
So we just start accepting stuff. And oh yeah,
Yep.
well you can do this or you have this. Not really delving into, okay, what does this really cost me
Right.
Mhm.
in the long run? And
But
now you've gotten
that
to this
Shark
point.
Tank, that Shark Tank opportunity might been what pushed her to where she is. You know,
Right.
sometimes that bad opportunity is that fuel to push you through and say, "Oh no, I definitely have to keep. Let me see how I can do this so that I can make this, make this
Yeah.
happen, make this a success."
It's a
But
lot of
the
people like that.
yeah,
What's
the
that?
other thing is what what's the saying? Everything that glitters isn't gold.
Mm,
And so you sometimes you have people in power who dangle this shiny pretty thing in front of you. Like,
Mhm.
I have this wonderful opportunity, I have this thing to give you, or I can assist you with, or whatever. And without thinking long term goals or long term decision making, like, if I make this move, I need to be prepared to either make moves one, two, three, or ABC. People just keep wanting to get to one. And I get
Mhm.
that, especially when you're hungry.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yo, like, I got this opportunity and it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be popping or whatever it is. And you get into things sometimes and then you sign contracts, sign paperwork, and then you sometimes sign away your idea.
Mm.
And so that's one of the things that I have noticed, like, whenever I caught a Shark Tank episode, is like, okay, I'll invest this much into your company for this percentage in stock or for this amount. Like, when you are networking,
Mhm.
the ROI, the return on investment, has to be a two-way street. It's not always just about what the investor can
can
give you
get.
in the moment or what you
Mhm.
can give the investor. You have to think about what you're getting in the long term. Because
Mhm.
sometimes people sell their souls to the devil. And I'm not just talking about, I'm talking
Mhm.
about anybody in business can be a charlatan and sell you something that you may not have wanted.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes us into something that's come across recently in pop culture, is that after almost 30 years, Diddy is giving catalogs back to his artists.
Yeah.
Listen,
He
them 360 deals. Yeah, I know that's my genre.
Go
Listen,
ahead, talk about it. Tell
no,
the people.
listen, people, listen. There's a reason why in today's society you have so many indie artists,
Mm,
because on paper and to the world it looks like they got it made, and behind the scenes these people broke
yep.
because you signed, and it we've seen it. Tony Braxton, TLC. You've seen these artists who were at the top, platinum selling, double platinum, and then they filed a bankruptcy and they
Yep.
broke. And
They
people
in the
think,
hole.
oh, yeah, people think, oh, well, that's because they were being frivolous with their money. I'm like, no.
No.
Can you imagine, like, you sold 1 million records, but you only made 2 cents on a record?
Listen, when Left Eye broke down that point system on that behind the music, I was sitting there, I was like, let me take notes. There are points
Crazy.
on an album.
Yeah, listen, it's
They did
crazy. Like,
all the
you
work
don't,
and got
and
nothing.
everything you do, when you sign these, when artists don't realize, when you sign these contracts, especially when these artists that are so hungry to get out there before you've established yourself, before you've made a name for yourself, before you figured out who you are, because the opportunity has presented itself, you jump on it. And now you don't have any leverage. You don't have a bargaining chip. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna give you, $100,000 signing bonus, and they're gonna take that $100,000 back when you get your money. And every music video you do, every hour you spend in the studio, every time you gotta go to an appearance show and you gotta
Hotel.
get your makeup done and your hair done and wardrobe, and every time you think you want green M&Ms instead of red M&Ms, every time. everything you ask
Who
for.
was it that wanted the bowl of only one color M&M? Like the craziness.
It's real. And so
You better get
you
that bag and pick out what you want.
right.
They all taste the same. Damn it!
One of them said, I forget what movie I was watching, and the girl was like, "I only eat the brown M and M's," and they were like, "Why?" And she was like, "Because chocolate's already brown, so I feel like the brown M and M's have less artificial food coloring." I was like, "What?" But again, all of these things that come with being, this person, all has a cost, and they're
Yeah.
gonna take that. And so I remember two instances where it was like when people were clowning or talking about people's decisions. That rapper, what is it, Lotto,
Hmm.
Lotto, Mulatto, something like that.
She
Lotto.
goes by just Lotto now. She kind of got shamed into taking the mo off.
So she was originally on Jermaine Dupri's show. He had a show called The Rap Game,
Okay.
Hmm.
and so she was on that show. She was like 16, and she won. She turned down the record contract
Mm.
and decided she was going to do this independently. And so she understood,
Value.
the value. And not only the value, she understood how to play the game because she was like, okay, I'm on this platform, being on this platform, being on TV. She now has, 100, 200.
Closure.
She got all these followers now, supporters,
Mhm.
people that love her music and things that now. So she decided she was going to do this independent. And she did it independent for years. And I mean, all her money, everything that she got to do, that was hers. I mean, outside of whatever she had to spend out of her pocket, but she got to recoup and keep her money. And so
Hmm.
she talks about that decision now and where she is now, that now, she's gotten, X amount of gold albums, X amount of things on stuff independently. So when she walks into, when a record company comes to her and wants something, she's like, okay, well, this is what I did by myself.
She's got leverage.
What can you do? And we don't think about that. I think Master P was I think it was Master P when he had his company or something, and they offered to buy it from him,
Hmm.
offered him like $5 million at the
Oh
time.
yes, I remember.
And he was
Yeah.
like, no. And so everybody was asking, like, well, why would you not take that? And he said, because if you're willing to pay me $5 million,
I
then I
know
know
it's
that it's
worth.
worth at least 10.
Yeah.
Right.
And we gotta think about that when somebody's offering you things sometimes, and not every, you don't have to overanalyze everything, but we really have to stand by the value of our products and recognize
Mhm.
that people see the value in stuff too. And they can also see your thirst or your hunger and your greed, and they will capitalize on that. And
Right.
know that you'll jump on that opportunity. And
Yeah.
so you got to make the right connections. Like, if some is this person willing to do something for you, even if they don't get anything in return?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Is this person saying, I see what you're doing, I believe in your vision, I have something that can help you, and I want to do that because I want to see you succeed? Not, I want to help you only if you'll do A, B, C, D, E, F. Because then it's like, do you really believe in me, or are you just here because you believe in what you can get out of this situation?
Right.
I mean, most people in those positions would be happy with acknowledgement. Just saying that this person, helped me along in this manner. Just giving that acknowledgement to them is sometimes
Hmm.
enough.
Hmm.
But it's kind of both sides. You, even though someone is looking at you and looking at opportunity for you, I believe in passing the collection plate. You may not charge me a fee for this, but I feel like there should be something I do to show my gratitude, and sometimes
Hmm.
just the post or word of mouth, when you get up and speak about it, just let them know, listen, this person is the reason why I was able to get to this place. Like, just sharing that alone is enough. And that
Hmm.
might open an opportunity for you because people see how humble and grateful, you are for others who have poured into you. So,
Absolutely.
it can be
Absolutely.
looked at in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not naive in thinking that, or lack an understanding of the business world. Like we started this topic by talking about Diddy and him signing, instead of taking this multi like $1 billion deal for the catalogs to be bought from him and then sold to somebody else. He was like, nah, I'm gonna just give it back to the people who it belonged to in the first place. We understand like Diddy was a businessman. He was a young businessman, and he was in his early 20s when he founded Bad Boy and started out. And so I don't want it to seem like I'm waving a finger at him, because for all we know, he might have been in a bad deal, coming from uptown, and what the trickle down is, because Bad Boy was under an umbrella and all this other stuff. And so, there's trickle up and trickle down theory when it comes down to business. The fact that he's now put into a position where this is what he can do is wonderful. It is groundbreaking. It is something that no other record label and producer has ever done. He didn't sell it back to them. He gave it back to them. And if you follow, there has been some tension between between him and some of his artists over their catalogs and their lack of control over their music and their royalties that they should have gotten, or the amount that they have gotten, from their music being used. As we said, they're making pennies on the dollar when it comes down to plays, and everything has changed in the entertainment industry now that we have streaming. You no longer go to Tower Records or whatever it is and buy a record or a CD or whatever it is. It's all about streams. And, it's a different beast now.
Yeah.
So what I want to say with that is you really got to understand the market that you're in and how to play the game. Don't enter a field blind. Know what you're getting into. Do your research, because I feel like I'm giving my gem drop right now. I'm gonna shut up because I'm spitting.
That's
Listen,
okay.
you gotta come with another gem
all
drop.
types of gem. All show. We take
All the gems. We're gonna give them rubies, emeralds, diamonds, garnet, all of the gems, all the gems.
Yes. But yes, I'm just gonna sum it up by saying, medium fish, what is it? Small fish gets eaten by medium fish gets eaten by larger fish gets eaten by shark. Know what your battlefield is, know how to navigate it, and really understand how to play the game.
Play the game.
And sometimes it takes time. Everything is not an overnight success. Melissa's now going into 3,000 doors with CVS, and I think this is 12 years after she decided she was going to launch her lip line. So it takes time. Everything is not an overnight success.
That's right.
You got to get out of this microwave mentality. And that's how a lot of people get into the situations they get into, because you want it right now. And so you don't vet these connections. You don't vet, these people that you're asking for things. You're not researching and really understanding really what is it that you need truthfully. Because people that sell you, oh, you need this, you gotta have. Do you really? Do I need to be in that room? Because you don't need to be in every room.
No, be selective, be smart.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, it's making the right connections. Not
exactly.
It's like when you connecting wires and stuff to the car, you just can't connect all the wires. Like you gonna electrocute yourself or blow some stuff up. You gotta
the instruction booklet.
Yeah. Red wire goes to the red wire, black wire. Make sure the wires connect the right way, because you're gonna mess around and connect the wrong wires and blow a fuse.
Reach out to the people who are kind of doing what you're trying to do.
Mentors are key to everything.
Pay attention, learn their story. Like all of that helps you build and understand how you should move. It's a process, and you can't give up on it with a bad experience. You got to learn, keep going.
yourself in the right rooms. Like, if you are trying to be, the next beauty guru, then you don't need to be at the culinary expedition. Like, it's just not to say you can't network, but make sure that you're networking in places that make sense for what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? No network is wasted. You go out there, you meet people because you never know who somebody else knows. But you have to be very conscious about putting yourself in the rooms where the resources that you need are.
Girl, preach.
You just
Snap, snap.
be conscious of those things.
Absolutely. What's
And don't
happening in
think
the comments?
somebody failed
Uh-huh.
that you can't learn from them. Sometimes we don't want to talk to the people who don't have successful businesses. No, talk to the people who struggling, because guess what? You gonna learn what not to do. We always
Listen,
look for the people at the top.
I was just thinking about that today. When I was growing up, my grandfather used to say, people don't believe stinks until they smell it, right? And it's, I always knew what it meant, but nowadays it's more like people think that they know more than the next person or whatever it is. And sometimes people take longer to learn harder lessons because they really have to go through the ups and downs of success and failure. Like they need to be able, they need to reach a certain level, think that they got it, and have it taken away from them.
Learn the hard way.
And that's all it is. And it's no, you know what? I want to say it's no shame on them, because hopefully once they've learned that lesson that way, they'll be able to, inspire someone else. You do something, it's 10 people, 8 of them, like, yep, you went through that. I don't have to go through that. Thank you. And there are going to be 2 more that be like, they didn't know what they're talking about. I'm going this way. So think about and concentrate on the 8 that understood your assignment. The other 2, they'll catch back up on the other side. And then maybe you'll learn something from them because they took the long road.
Right. Listen, one of the most insightful conversations that I've had to date, I used to do a lot of community work, and I spoke with a woman who was in like a homeless shelter, like, and and we were I was there helping doing stuff, and she was working there, to part of her, staying there. She was working in there. We just started talking, and she started sharing her story. And when I tell you, this woman was at one point considerably very, like, on her way, well established, and she made a wrong decision, and it took everything away from her. And it was like just talking to her and really her insight on, like, being conscious of the people you have around you. Really being knowledgeable about all aspects of business. She was like, you need to know about the marketing, know about your know all of that, because people will steal your money and you don't know. No, she just was like, really be kind of knowing everything. And she was just talking to me, telling me things. And at that moment, tangibly, she didn't have anything to offer me. Do you know what I mean? And if I was someone that was like, oh, well, you can't do that for me, I would have missed out on just her knowledge and experience. Because she's like, listen, I don't want somebody, I have to learn the hard way.
Right.
And she was like, if I can prevent somebody from having to learn the way I had to learn, then I'm going to share that. And so many of us get, like I was saying, get so caught up in, well, your business failed, so what can you teach me? Or, well, you don't have this, so what can you teach me? A lot. They could probably teach you how not to fail.
I was about to say, they could teach you what not to do. Plain and simple. Somebody who has failed can teach you what not to do. Period. Point blank. End of that.
They can teach
and
you
there's no shame in failure.
Do what you're doing better.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times the mistakes that people make in business are not always stupid, like things that are stupid. It's things that you should be doing, you just weren't doing them correctly.
It's mismanagement.
Yeah. And so you just missed the mark on something. And if you had just gotten the education or taken the little bit of time or taken the moment to speak to someone that either has made the mistake and recovered or didn't or understands it, you might have wasted yourself some time.
Mm-hmm.
You might have saved yourself some time from
Right.
going through all of this stuff and experiencing things you didn't have to if you just spoke to the right people and made the right connections.
Right.
Exactly.
Careful where you take your information from too.
Yes. Listen,
So,
the internet
so,
is great. However,
Careful.
thank God for the internet. I'm so glad I don't have to go look through encyclopedias like back in the day. Thank God for the internet. However, everyone has access to the internet. Everyone can make a website. Everyone can fact check. There, yo, that was. I wish I had a bomb because I get people be DMing me stuff. Oh, they got this loan for the, and I'd be like, just because it's an ad, just because it's an ad on Instagram. Like, Did you click the link? Did you click it? When you click the link, did you see the site?
did it look legit?
Like, did you go all the way down to the bottom and read that paragraph at the bottom of the website
No,
where it
because
clearly says,
clicking was easy. Let me
look,
get this
we are
money real
not a
quick.
lender. Look, we are not a lender. We do not have access to any funds. We cannot. Like,
This is an advertisement.
But if you
listen,
click here and fill out this application,
You know what I want
give me all your government information so that I can hack you and steal your stuff.
what I want to say with this, the Diamond Writers, we are creators, we are writers, we are poets, we're content creators. And the first thing that I will say to anyone who is looking to get into this field, protect your intellectual property. Protect it. This is your baby. This is you. This is it. And yeah, there are some things where you can't protect it because it is just too big of a domain or whatever it is for it to be copywritten or registered and all that other stuff. But whether you are a writer, an artist, a singer, whatever it is, make sure that when you enter into these rooms and you start discussing what you can bring, you only give little samples of it. Do not
don't
give
give
them
it
the
all.
whole piece
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
because all they got to do is grab it and then they off with your idea, they
No.
off with your stuff. So
If
protect
not,
your intellectual property.
you have it date stamped somewhere.
We
Somewhere
have it.
back in the day, they used to tell you if you had like stuff written down to type it up, put it in an envelope, and mail it to yourself.
Poor man's copyright.
Right. Because then you got the post date on it. Listen, I tell you now, even now, email it to yourself. Email it to yourself. Screenshot your email because it has a date and a time of when you sent this to yourself. Like it's not the most legitimate way, but I mean, it's something that if you ever have to encounter that, you have proof that you have a date and time of when you created something.
Mhm.
But there's nothing you can have too big. There's no project too large that you cannot copyright it. Like there's not. That doesn't even exist. You can protect your intellectual property at small, large. You could write two sentences. If you feel like them two sentences is gonna be part of the next great speech, save it. Do something. Cause like you said, people will snatch it quickly.
Oh wow.
And then fight
It
you for
is
it.
9:05. Mel, do you
I
see
was
that?
gonna
It is
say.
9:05.
I
We've been in
do.
this
I do.
conversation spitting
I was.
bars.
I was gonna say, do we have any action in the comments? I know we're over
I
time,
did.
but
The comments we got a little bit. The comments they was must have been taking notes. They was a little quiet today, but let's see what they had
Mhm.
to say over here. Let's see. Tiara said, support comes in so many ways. Share our content, like posts, comment on posts, purchase a product, tell a friend. Absolutely. And
Yes.
that costs you nothing.
right.
It's free.
Y'all do it all day, every day for somebody else anyway. You just scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, just heart and stuff. If the Diamond Writers or any of their content come across your page, heart and share, please and thank you. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
All right, sure. Thank you. Michelle says, analyze the people that you have around you. Who is on your team? Make the right connections. Your sister's cousin's baby father might not
Oh
need
God.
to be on your team. Now, listen, he got some connections and some good resources, then by all means, but stop feeling like you have to put the people closest to you on your network team. They don't. They can. You can be my sister and my cousin and my brother and my friend and all of that, and be in that. You don't have to. They don't have to be a part of your business, especially if they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michelle said the way Left Eye broke that payment system in the music industry was eye opening. It was clear and concise. Listen,
She said, let me tell you something. There are 15 points on an album.
listen, people don't understand it. It's as being someone in that, and it's no joke. And them points get split up. It ain't even all yours. Because if you didn't write the music, guess what? The writers got to get
Not your
points.
point.
If you didn't produce it, guess what? Producers got to get points. And you got to negotiate that. Because depending on what you paid, if you paid the producer up front, sometimes you got to pay them up front and they want points on the back end. It's a lot that goes into this music industry, entertainment industry stuff. It's not, people don't, these people that are making the millions, 9 times out of 10, their millions are not coming from the music.
Sure.
The right now, here's the funny thing: the writers and the producers make way more.
Use it.
They get paid first.
They make way more. Like
When
so,
you when you're the artist, you're paid last. And then one of the things she said, after all was said and done, is 5 points left to split between the three of them.
and then they have to pay whoever's on their individual. So if they have their own lawyers, stuff, they got to pay all of them out of that. Yeah, listen, and it's worse now because streaming, you get like 0.00003 cents per stream.
Wait, have you?
They're in the wrong network. They are
Damn,
not getting
Danielle.
what they deserve. They need to rethink
So
that.
this is a little bit off topic, but on topic with the whole writer strike that's happening in Hollywood right now. You know how you see actors and actresses, and you see them in a lot of stuff. Sometimes you remember their names, sometimes you don't, but they consistently work. But they're not mega stars. They're not superstars.
Mm-hmm.
They have been posting their royalty checks on Instagram, and it's like, oh, I can't remember this is a perfect example. I can't remember the young lady's name. I believe she was on some of the Disney shows, and she's like, oh, I just got a check I got a royalty check, and she opened it up, and it was like 7 cents. First of all, is that
First of all, y'all wasted
Why'd
the
you write
paper.
that check?
why you waste the paper sending me a check for 7 cents? The paper is worth more than the check.
No,
That's an insult. It's an insult. It's an insult. And people are like, oh, I think it was Billy Porter posted that he put his house on the market, and people were laughing. Like, why are you?
Remember Elvin from the Cosby Show when he was working at like Trader Joe's?
He was working at Trader Joe's, and then 50 saw him, and he became ghost lawyer. But yes, they were laughing at the fact that Elvin was working at. See, it was like that type of acting, like you was on a good show or whatever it is, but that money don't last forever.
And again, individual checks be peanuts. If you are not star one, if you're not one or two on the star list, forget about it.
So the gem dropper here is
come on through
to your network.
Right.
Yo, yo, I'm getting ready to record. Damn, Danielle. Like every time she drop a damn, Danielle.
Well, on that note, listen, since we're going there, on that
Crazy.
note, it is time for Here's a Gem.
Mm.
So we're gonna drop some gems. So Danielle, since you was on the roll,
Me?
you just dropped gems, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and drop another one.
I would just say step into the room. Like, don't overthink it. Don't second guess it. Just trust the process and let your fear be your fuel and just step into the room.
Awesome.
Where it takes you.
I'm with it. That was good. Tiff.
Mhm.
Phoenix.
All right, here we go. Um, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth hurts, but think about what you're going to be once you have reached that next level.
Mm, that was good.
Thanks.
Mine is nowhere that you're trying to go or get to in your success can you get to by yourself. So be clear on the fact that you need people, but you need the right people.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of who you are connecting to and who is connected to you.
Mm,
Because
absolutely.
they will either give you wings or they will become an anchor. So you make that choice. That's my job. So this is another awesome episode. I'm excited. So if you didn't already, I hope you were here. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Facebook, YouTube. Check us out. Next
Instagram.
week, Instagram, yes, everywhere. Just if it's up there, find us. We're there. Next week, we are bringing you guys a brand new show. This is a first ever world premiere. World premiere. No,
Look, I'm hanging on the edge. What's happening? What's
so
happening?
is our show next week is our Dear Diamond show. So what that means
Ooh.
is this is your opportunity to ask any question. You can write a letter. It doesn't matter if you want relationship advice, family advice,
Career.
business advice, career advice, children advice, whatever. It doesn't matter, and it is anonymous. So you can go on our website, go to www.diamondwriters.com/Dear Diamond, and you can submit your Dear Diamond letter for a chance to have it read and answered on next week's episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast. Now, understand, if your letter is not chosen to be read and featured on the show, that does not mean that you will not get an answer. We will still answer your letter. We will provide you with an answer. To make it even more of a spicy meatball, you have an option. So if you have a specific Diamond Hustle and Shine host that you want to ask your question to,
Ooh.
on the letter form, you can pick who you want to pose the question to. Or you can
Ooh.
leave it open. You can leave it open and random, and then it'll be open to us as a full cast. But you can pick. So if you have a question for myself or the Phoenix or the Queen Pen specifically, you can submit your letter to one of us directly, and we will answer your letter. So,
Wait.
I
You
want to
telling me?
crash. I want to
You
crash.
te- you telling me we can go? It could say, "Dear Phoenix."
yes,
Ah,
it
I'm
very well
excited.
says, Dear Phoenix. So, like I said, if you have anything that you want to ask, nothing is off the table. This is your chance. If you want some advice, if you've read our books and you feel like some of the things we've talked about in the book applies to you, and you want to ask an in-depth question about something, now is your opportunity and your chance to do so. So hop over to our website, diamondwriter.com/Dear Diamond and submit your letters. You have until next week, Tuesday, to submit your letter for a chance for it to be read on the show on Wednesday.
Ooh.
So tell a friend to tell a friend to submit. And again, like I said, it's anonymous. So when you submit your letter online, there is a space for you to put your alias. So it's not your actual name. So no one will know it's you. But you'll know it's you when we read your letter and answer the question.
And make sure you tune in. If you send a letter, you won't know if your letter got selected until you tune in with us next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. And we'll be here answering your questions live.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Podcast. So as always, it's been fun. Thank you so much to our special guest host, who is no stranger to the Hustle and Shine podcast, none other than Miss Lady J.A.
I'm glad I could be tonight.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
And for the public, yes, she's been missing for a couple of weeks, but the Queen Pen will be back next week. And so I'm looking forward to seeing my lovely.
It'll be a good show.
Yes.
It always is.
Until then.
Until then.
Put your glass. Until then, we would love for you to do what, ladies? Continue.
You to hustle and shine.
Good night.
Cheers.
Good night.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.